Yo, what's up everybody? Eyecee here and welcome to another NBA video. This one is for November 2nd, 7-game slate. A quick recap into my night last night. It was going good until Luka Doncic and LeBron decided to just go bonkers. I didn't have them in my cash game, so that kind of sucked. They were the other cash options. I had Kyrie and Harden. I also had Dinwiddie, so that wasn't really good. But some of my plays were really good from yesterday. Torian Prince, Joe Harris. Evan Fournier was good up until the fourth quarter. It looked really good for him until the fourth quarter. Even LeBron and Luka I had in my GPPs, but I didn't have them in my cash game, which kind of sucked. But yeah, my late night lineups did really well. I had a lot of Patty Mills. He just went out there and smashed, so that was good. I also had a little bit of Alec Burks. That was good. A lot of these Golden State guys going forward are going to be playing a key role. So these guys are someone to be looking at. And I just watched that whole game, so I have a good amount of value plays that I'm ready to plug in for today's slate. So without any further ado, you guys aren't really here for all that yabber jabber. You guys are here for the take. So without any further ado, let's get started. Oh, as always, if you guys are new here and you like anything I have to say, please drop a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Just the only thing that could help my channel grow, and honestly it keeps me motivated, and I just appreciate it if you do it. So please do it. Thank you. You have a lot of good luck now. If you didn't do it, you have bad luck, so go do it, okay? If you believe in what do you call those things, man? Curses? This is a curse. If you don't subscribe, you're cursed. Take it how as you want it, bro. It's the day after Halloween. Alright, whatever. I'm gonna stop. Alright. The first game of the night is Denver versus Orlando. Alright. Orlando just came off of shellacking against the Bucks. They actually started off really, really well, but then things fell apart really quickly. Denver, on the other hand, has been playing really on and off. Jokic has had some really poor performances so far, not up to his regular standard. And Paul Millsap, a key thing to note here is Paul Millsap hasn't been playing a lot of minutes against fast teams. Against slower teams, he plays his regular allotment of minutes. But when the team is fast, he plays slow. Orlando's a very slow team, and because of that, Paul Millsap's my favorite play tomorrow at 4,600. I'm projecting Paul Millsap to play around 29 to 30 minutes. I'm projecting this game to be close. I don't think Orlando gets back-to-back dubs here. I think they're gonna go out there and try their best to compete. They started off well against the Bucks, like I said, but things just fell apart for them. So this is going to be a bounce-back spot for the Magic, and I think it's going to be competitive. But Paul Millsap is my favorite play on the Denver side. I really think his price is too cheap for the amount of usage and upside he has. The floor is pretty safe with him too, and the minutes tomorrow should be good in the matchup. The other two guys that I feel confident, safe playing tomorrow are Gary Harris and Jokic. Both of them are priced adequately for their upside. The matchup is also not going to be the best matchup for them, but their ownership is going to be relatively low compared to some of the other plays at their position. And I think they're going to be in a position to really do good on the slate if this game stays close. I'm predicting this game to stay close, which is why I like Jokic and Harris. The other two guys I'm giving decent thought to is Michael Porter Jr. and Jeremy Grant. Michael Porter, particularly if Will Barton's out. Michael Porter has been doing decent in the limited amount of minutes he's been playing. He sees a lot of usage too when he's on the court. He's minimum price here, so if you're looking for a cheap punt and we get any news that any of the other Denver guys might be limited or out, then Michael Porter Jr. is definitely someone that I'd be considering. Same thing with Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant's really been getting more minutes as Paul Millsap's replacement when the pace is faster. So Jeremy Grant's also been asserting himself off the bench. He's pretty much the sixth man going forward. He was their main offseason acquisition, and so far he's been damn good. Last game in particular, he was really good. But again, the pace was fast in that game. So this one's going to be a slower paced game, and Paul Millsap's going to be on the court more. That reduces the opportunity for Jeremy Grant. However, he still has the upside, which is why I'll give him some consideration at 3,800. On the Orlando Magic side, I'm not really too fond of anybody here. Denver is really good against defending guards, and honestly, the only really guy I really truly like is Evan Fournier. He's been really consistent to start the season, and he was the only guy that really showed up against the Bucks. Terrence Ross also was decent off the bench, but Evan Fournier was on the starters. Evan Fournier was literally the only one that really did anything. He was going to smash if he got run in the fourth quarter, but they were getting beat so bad that they got sat in the fourth. I think this is a redemption spot for all the Magic. So Evan Fournier is going to lead them again, lead the charge there. Evan Fournier is not one to shy away from shots. If he gets hot, he could very easily hit value. So he's 5,100. He needs to hit a couple of threes. He'll get you assists. He'll get some rebounds. He can get you some steals. So Evan Fournier is definitely someone I'll be considering. It's a good spot for him, even though Denver have been better against guards. But I like Evan Fournier. Another guy I'm going to be considering is Jonathan Isaac at 5,600. His upside is tremendous. He's been playing really, really well. Yesterday, he got injured somewhat in the game. I forgot exactly what happened. He left, but he came back. He should be good to go again. And at 5,600, he's definitely in play for me against Denver. Denver is usually giving it up to the forwards, and Jonathan Isaac's one of the more better forwards on this team. Aaron Gordon's hit or miss, so Aaron Gordon could also go out there and have a decent game. But I don't really feel safe playing Aaron Gordon. His 6K price is relatively cheap for the amount of upside he has, but the floor is really low with Aaron Gordon. We don't know what Aaron Gordon we're going to get. Vucevic at 9K, there's other guys I'd get to. I don't really like him going up against Jokic and Millsap. It is going to be a slow-paced matchup, and both of these teams are going to be hungry to right their wrongs, so it's going to be a competitive matchup. Vucevic can definitely get it done, but personally is not a play I will be playing tomorrow. I might get him in one or two lineups here or there, but he's not going to be someone I'm going to get to much. So that's pretty much it. Honorable mentions to Terrence Ross and Markelle Fultz, both of who can get it done after shots falling off the bench. Same thing with Al-Farouq Aminu, but Al-Farouq Aminu has a little bit of more peripheral stat upside. He's a better defender, and they're going to need his size and length again to defend Denver Nuggets in general. So he's going to see a little bit more run here, and Orlando is playing on a second night of a back-to-back. So some of these players might see a little bit of extra run off the bench, although Orlando does play with the 8-man rotation with Mo Bamba and Mike Carter-Williams out. So that's an important thing to note. Maybe Westside Wundu gets some run, so maybe I should have had his name here. But Westside Wundu, maybe he gets a little bit of run here with Mo Bamba and Michael Carter-Williams out, and this being a second end of a back-to-back. Next game we have here is the Brooklyn Nets versus the Detroit Pistons. Honestly, a lot of the Nets guys here let me down, but if you watched the video yesterday, Taurean Prince and Joe Harris were both guys I was very favorable on. Kyrie Irving had a very efficient yet subdued performance. I could expect him to bounce back here today. However, at 9,300, there's other guys I'd rather get to. Two guys that I probably will get to is Joe Harris and Karis LeVert. Both of them are priced pretty fairly, and both of them just see a lot of usage and have a good amount of upside that I feel safe playing them against the Detroit Pistons. Detroit plays at a mediocre pace right now. They're not the slowest. They're not the fastest. They're just in the middle. So teams can have good nights against them offensively. So Joe Harris, Karis LeVert are the two guys I like. My favorite play, who's a bounce back candidate, is Spencer Dinwiddie. He just had a terrible night, and particularly because Garrett Temple got a little bit of extended run than his usual allotment. But I think Spencer Dinwiddie definitely is going to be lower owned tomorrow after the performance he put up tomorrow, and I'm willing to bet on him a little bit tomorrow. I like the matchup here. He's someone that comes off the bench, but you sometimes also closes out the games. If his shot's falling, which it wasn't today, he's someone that could definitely get it done. He also fills up the stat sheet with peripheral stats, so he's someone that I really like and I'd definitely be considering. Garrett Temple, honorable mention at 3,100. He's been getting a decent amount of minutes. His usage is alright, but his upside is good. What I saw from him today was really good. If he has that same type of game today, then he's definitely I definitely wouldn't mind playing him. And another guy I'd consider is DeAndre Jordan. They're gonna need DeAndre Jordan to battle Andre Drummond for the boards. Jared Allen's not really gonna have a fun time going up against Drummond. It is a back-to-back. DeAndre Jordan only played 19 minutes, so if DeAndre Jordan's going to be playing more minutes, I don't mind him at all. At 4,800 is really cheap for him. But if he's going to be playing 19 minutes, then there's a risk. He could still get it done in 19 minutes, but it's a risk. So it depends on the minutes he's going to be getting. I don't mind him, but I'm not going to be playing too much of DeAndre Jordan unless we get some news that he might be starting or he's going to see a little bit more minutes, something like that. Other than that, I'm not really too interested in anybody here. Kyrie, I'm not interested in. Taurean Prince, even though I was really hard on him yesterday, I'm willing to bet against him. I think his ownership is going to be very, very high after the game he had. He became a super duper star last night, and I think he's going to be a super duperly high owned guy on tonight's slate. So I'm not going to be too keen on playing him. I might stick him here or there just to ride the wave, but I'm willing to bet against the field here. Hopefully I get this right and just set myself apart like that. On the Detroit side, another team playing with a limited amount of players due to injury. They're also on a back-to-back here, so maybe some of these guys that were questionable going into yesterday's slate, like Markieff Morris, might not play at all. So really keep an eye on the news for the Detroit Pistons. I'm willing to guarantee one or two of these guys might be held out for rest purposes or see limited minutes. I would think the prime candidate would be Markieff Morris. However, I can't be sure on that. I'm going to just say they play. Going by that they play, my favorite play on the Detroit Pistons would have to be Andre Drummond. Obviously, he's just been having a really dominating season so far. He's really had one mediocre game so far, and this is a good spot for him against a Brooklyn team that's kind of been giving it up to centers. If they don't really get DeAndre Jordan to compete with Drummond, and even DeAndre Drummond, who's an elite rebounder, DeAndre Jordan, who's an elite rebounder, he's probably going to have a really tough time against Andre Drummond, who's been rebounding at a crazy rate. I like Andre Drummond here. If the Pistons have any chance, it's going to have to be through Andre Drummond. His price at $10K, it's getting up there now. And, between him and Jokic and who else? I'm not really sure who else at that $10K price at the center right now. But between him and Jokic, I'd feel safer playing Drummond. But Jokic obviously has the safer floor, in my opinion. But both of these guys have just been, Drummond in particular has just been killing it. And as you can see, his price has gone up from the start of the season by quite a lot. He does have that upside. He does have that high ceiling. This is a decent matchup for him. So Drummond is my favorite player on the Detroit Pistons. Luke Kennard's the other guy I'm looking at. He's had a decent game against the Bulls. If his shot falls, he's definitely going to smash value at $5K. No problem getting to him against Brooklyn. Even though Brooklyn has decent perimeter defense, I feel confident going with Luke Kennard. And then Markieff Morris and Derrick Rose, both these guys I'm going to be playing. Derrick Rose in particular, I'm going to have more so than Markieff Morris. 5,900, his price is going up, but Derrick Rose has just been playing fantastic. He's been pretty much the Pistons' second best player, if not their best player at times. Derrick Rose is going to be going up against some Kyrie Irving defense, so he should have a relatively easy time scoring. And Dinwiddie is not the greatest defender either, so I like Derrick Rose as well. And Christian Wood, honorable mention if Markieff Morris does not play, then Christian Wood is someone I would be going to. On to the Toronto Raptors and Milwaukee Bucks. On the Toronto Raptors side, I really like OG, Pascal Siakam, and Marc Gasol here. I really think these three guys are going to see a bulk of the minutes. They're going to try and limit Giannis as much as they can. And also at the same time, they're going to try and get their points offensively. OG Anunoby in general have been having a really great start to the season. 4,900 is kind of up there for him, but I feel confident in playing OG. He's just been doing a lot of things, and he's been letting the game come to him. Because of that, he's been performing really well. When he's been trying to do too much, he never really succeeds. Now that he's just kind of relaxed and more at ease when he has the ball in his hands, he's been doing good things. So I don't mind OG. Pascal Siakam's the other guy I'll be playing a lot tomorrow. I think he goes a little under-owned tomorrow because of the other options we have on the slate, but Pascal Siakam's been getting the most usage on the Raptors by quite a margin. He's seeing a good amount of minutes. he has been getting into a little bit of foul trouble, and I think he might get into foul trouble against Giannis, and that's what scares people off of him. But I'm willing to go with Pascal Siakam tomorrow. I think he's going to have a good game. It's going to be a statement game. This is a good matchup, a rematch of the Western or Eastern Conference Finals from last year. And I think Pascal Siakam has a good game. Marc Gasol, someone that's had a really bad start to the season so far. I think he has a rebound game here. He's not that bad. It's just his shot hasn't been falling. If his 3-point shot starts falling, he's going to be good. He had a good series against the Bucks last year, and it's going to be a pretty similar lineup to that. So Marc Gasol is going to be needed here. Ibaka off the bench also is going to be needed, so I'm going to be considering him as well. I like Ibaka. Ibaka coming off the bench has been very energetic and productive for the Raptors. It has been a good move for the Raptors by moving Ibaka to the bench. He's just leading the bench, and it's their new bench mob now. Van Vliet's starting, and Ibaka is coming off the bench. It's been working out great for the Raptors. So yeah, those are the guys I pretty much like. Patrick McCaw is out, so Norman Powell's probably going to see a little bit more minutes, and maybe Stanley Johnson sees a little bit more minutes. But aside from that, Fred VanVleet I'm also going to be considering. But that's about it. Fred VanVleet is just really shot dependent. If his shot falls, well, there's a good chance it might. He's definitely in play for me. Kyle Lowry 8,100. Like, I don't mind going to Kyle Lowry. He's been very good so far to start the season. Like, very, very good. Like, consistent as fuck. But at 8,100, I might be getting myself to other players over Kyle Lowry. But he's someone that could definitely get it done. And if you find yourself going to Kyle Lowry, I can't fault you for it. He's just been very consistent, and the ball goes through him. He's still the leader of this team. And even though Pascal Siakam has been doing the most offensively, Kyle Lowry is not very far behind in that regard. On the Milwaukee Bucks side, Giannis Antetokounmpo definitely in play for me. But my favorite player is Chris Middleton. He only played 20 minutes. He posted 6 rebounds and 16 points. And he's had a quiet start to the season. Not bad, but decent. But I expect this is a spot where Chris Middleton really shines. I expect the Raptors to really try and shut down Giannis like they did in the playoffs by running that collapsing defense as Giannis gets to the key. Because of which Giannis is going to have to kick it out to teammates on the wing, such as Chris Middleton and Wesley Matthews. Both of these guys are going to be in play for me tomorrow, but Chris Middleton would have to take the cake here. His minutes are a lot safer, and his floor is a lot safer in general. I just like Chris Middleton's upside tomorrow, and I think he's in a good spot here, so he's going to be someone I'm going to be targeting a lot. Another guy, Wesley Matthews on the wing. If his shot's falling, which I hope it does, then he's definitely going to be played at this price. His minutes are really good as well. The price is really good. It's just a matter of his shot falling. He just placed a dud against the Magic yesterday. 0-0-0. No rebounds, assists, or points in 20 minutes. So his ownership should be low, and because of which I'll be considering him. The matchup is not that bad, although the Raptors are a good defensive team, so are the Bucks. But there should be an ample opportunity for Wesley Matthews and Chris Middleton to get their 3-point shots off. Kyle Korver was held out of the Orlando Magic game for rest purposes. There's nothing wrong with him. He should be back in at a minimum price. Playing 16 minutes per game, he's definitely in play for me as a value play. George Hill saw a limited run in the blowout 15 minutes, but still had a decent performance. He's been one of their best players off the bench, and he too is a cheap value play that I'll be considering tomorrow. Both George Hill and Kyle Korver are guys I like. Aside from that, Ersan Ilyasova is the only guy I might even consider. He's minimum price, and he's been doing decent in some games. This is a spot where Ersan can shine. He is a good 3-point shooter, and they're going to be needing guys for Giannis to kick it out to that could be draining their shot. If he comes off the bench and gets hot, then he might see a little bit more extended run. And at basically his salary, he's in a smash spot if he makes a couple of shots. So that's pretty much it for the Bucks. On to the next, Phoenix versus Memphis. I think this is the highest scoring game of the night. Phoenix has been playing really well, believe it or not, to start the year. A lot of these guys have really bought into their new coach's system. They've been really playing defense and trying really hard. Good camaraderie out there. So my favorite player on the Suns tomorrow would have to be Devin Booker. 8,300 is not bad of a price, and I kind of like Devin Booker over Kyle Lowry tomorrow. He's in a good matchup here. Memphis doesn't really play that great of defense as they're known for in the past. Their pace has increased a lot. They're playing at a much faster pace, and Phoenix plays at a really fast pace too. So there should be a lot of usage here. There should be a lot of opportunity, a lot of possessions, and Devin Booker should be leading the forefront of this Phoenix offense. So he's someone I'm definitely considering tomorrow. Aside from that, I'm going to be looking at Dario Saric, Ricky Rubio, and Kelly Oubre from the starters. All three of these guys could definitely go off, so I'll be looking at them for sure. This is a stackable game for me, even though it's a 7-game slate. I wouldn't mind getting to a lot of these guys in my lineup. They're priced adequately, and they have decent floors and usage, so any one of these guys could be good. My favorite would probably have to be Ricky Rubio out of the three, but Dario Saric would probably be the lower owned out of the three and probably has the most upside in my opinion. He's coming off of a fantastic game, so actually his ownership might not be that low. It might be a little elevated because of that last game, but this is a good matchup here, and the pace and all that aside, Dario Saric is a damn good shooter, and he's really integrated himself well into this Phoenix offense. He's one of the main reasons they're like doing good. It's him, Aaron Baines, and Ricky Rubio that have really like stabilized this Phoenix Suns team and just provided a sense of maturity and a veteranness that Devin Booker and Kelly Oubre didn't seem to have. Kelly Oubre is just, he's a very free-spirited guy, and Devin Booker just doesn't seem like a good leader. So, Dario Saric, Ricky Rubio, and Aaron Baines have really had a good influence on this team. And I like all three of them for that reason. It's a good matchup, good pace, and I'm going to be getting to a lot of these guys. Javon Carter is another guy coming off the bench, basically minimum price here. Same thing with Tyler Johnson coming off the bench. Both of these guys are in a spot that they could have good games, so I'll be considering them. And then Frank Kaminsky and Aaron Baines, both of these guys are going to be needed against the Memphis Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson, Jonas Valanciunas of the world. Their size and strength. They also have Brandon Clark, who's questionable, but who's probably also playing. And then they also have Marco. No, that's right, Marco. My bad. But yeah, that's pretty much what I like on the Phoenix Suns side. I'll be considering Kaminsky and Baines. Between the two, I like Baines tomorrow. But his ownership should be elevated, so I'll probably be going to Kaminsky as well. Probably equal ownership, to be honest, with these two guys. Yeah. On the Memphis side, Ja Morant, 6,800 is a little steep, but it is against Phoenix, so I don't mind. He's someone I'm going to be playing quite a lot. Jay Crowder is another guy I'm going to be considering at 5,200. I like the matchup here. I'm not too comfortable playing Jay Crowder, but I don't mind it. He's been seeing a lot of minutes. The usage is good. He's the leader of the team basically at this point. There's a bunch of young guys. So Jay Crowder is someone that's been playing really well. I wouldn't mind him at all. Jonas Valanciunas has been playing limited minutes, but he's been very damn productive. So I'm going to be considering him based on that merit. If I get any news that he might see an increase in minutes, then I like him even more. Jaren Jackson, the walking foul. If he stays out of foul trouble, I mean, sure, he's a great guy. He's a smash spot. He's a real top 20 fantasy player if he stays out of foul trouble. Like he produces really well points per minute wise. Grayson Allen's shot just doesn't seem to be finding him. When he is on the court, he sees a lot of usage. He takes a lot of shots. He's not afraid to take shots. It's just a matter of his shots falling. At 3,200, he's priced adequately. Like it's not much more you could be priced at when your shot's not falling. But I mean, if his price is if shots is falling, then he's just gonna be in a smash spot. So he's someone definitely that I'd consider punting for GPPs. Great ceiling, great upside. It's just the floor is really low with this kid, and it's very shooting dependent. Brandon Clark's questionable, of course. If he's playing, I like him at 4,700. He's been decent, and the coaches really love this guy. The matchup should be good. He should be in a smash spot here. Like, honestly, he should be going through the Phoenix Suns team with relative ease, aside from Aaron Baines. Brandon Clark has had a very lack of words. Getting very tired here. What the hell? Brandon Clark has had a very impressive preseason here, and if he plays, especially if he's questionable, I don't mind getting to him. My favorite play on the Memphis Grizzlies would be Kyle Anderson, 3,600, seeing a decent amount of minutes, good usage. He's been very productive when he comes off the bench. Last game was not a really good game for him, so his ownership is going to be low, and I don't mind getting to that. The matchup here is really good. They're going to need Kyle Anderson's three-point shooting ability as well as his deep perimeter defense, so I don't mind getting to Kyle Anderson here. And then the next game we have here is the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Washington Wizards. Of course, Karl Anthony Towns is suspended, so we got to figure out who's really going to step in for him. My bet would be either Noah Vonleh or Jake Layman, but Jordan Bell could also see extended run here now that Karl Anthony Towns is out. However, my favorite play is Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague has been very consistent to start the season. He's just the anchor of this team. He's the one consistent guy that always is doing his job. With Towns out, I expect him to take a little bit of an offensive boost here. Teravion Graham's the other guy that I really like at 3,300. I expect him to see a usage increase, a usage bump, as well as an offensive bump with Towns out of the picture. Towns sucks up a lot of usage and hucks up a lot of shots and just takes a lot of the stats away from these other guys. So there should be a lot of stats to go around, and Teravion Graham and Jeff Teague should benefit the most, in my opinion. Andrew Wiggins, 7,100. No, thank you. He can do good, definitely. If you guys want to play him, go ahead. He's just someone I have a personal bias against. This is not one of the greater games, better games, competitive wise, for Andrew Wiggins to really show up. Andrew Wiggins tends to show up against tougher teams, and the Washington Wizards are not a tough team by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm not confident in playing Andrew Wiggins, but he could definitely go out there and smash. Remember, there is no Karl Anthony Towns, so there's going to be more usage and to go around, and he definitely should see a usage bump. But personally, I'm not too fond of him. Jake Layman, if he starts or if he's coming off the bench, I don't mind getting to him. He's been seeing a good amount of minutes, and the price is really good for him. With Towns out, he's also going to be seeing a usage bump and a minutes bump, so he's definitely in play for me. Shabazz Napier and Josh Okogie, both of these guys have been coming off the bench and performing really well, so I'll also be considering these guys as cheap value plays. Guards in particular do really well against Washington Wizards, which is why even though these guys are coming off the bench, I'll be really high on them. And this is also why I'm high on Jeff Teague and Teravion Graham. On to the Wizards. The Wizards are going to be without Jordan McRae for another game. My favorite play on the Wizards has to be Isaiah Thomas. They increased his price to 4,800, but he's probably going to be seeing around 24 to 28 minutes in my opinion. This is going to be a good matchup, a decent pace matchup. So I'm going to be getting myself to Isaiah Thomas. He's still coming off the bench, and I think people are still going to be sleeping on him. He has a lot of upside. He's really a GPP play for me. Definitely not playing him in cash, but in GPPs, I'll be getting to quite a few Isaiah Thomases. The main play here for me is David Bertans. He's my favorite play on the Wizards. He's just been playing fantastic to start the season. His three-point shot's really been good so far, and I expect that to continue. The Wizards really need him. He's the type of dynamic player that suits them at this present time. His three-point shooting ability, size, and defense really stand out, and he's been really good. So he's one of my favorable plays on the Wizards. I've played him so far a lot this season, and he's really had great returns for me. 4,100 is a great price for him. And I'll definitely be playing him. Another guy that's been similar to Davis Bertans has been Maurice Wagner. I'm going to be getting to a decent amount of Maurice Wagner too. 3,300 is a good price for him. He's too cheap. He's been getting a good amount of minutes, and this matchup is going to be good for him. They're going to need his size, so he's someone I'm going to be getting to. Both Bradley Beal, Thomas Bryant, I'm going to be getting to as well. Their price is kind of a little high for me, but I'm going to be considering them, and I'll get to them in some lineups. Aside from that, Hachimura, definitely at 6,200. I'll consider him because the minutes are there for sure. The matchup is there as well. He's going to be guarded by Andrew Wiggins and like rookies or young guys that aren't really known for their defense. So he's been playing really well too. He's been consistent. 6,200 again is kind of getting up there. They're really just priced up there because of that Houston Rockets game where that score went nuts. So that's mainly the main reason. I don't expect a similar game like that. which is why I'm kind of hesitant to really go crazy with these guys. But Davis Bertans, Isaiah Thomas would definitely be my favorable picks. Oh, and Maurice Wagner. But Bradley Beal, Hachimura, Thomas Bryant, I'd be considering, with Thomas Bryant being my favorite. He's probably going to be going against second string centers. So Thomas Bryant should be in a smash spot in my opinion. I really like Thomas Bryant. And then the next game we got here is the Charlotte Hornets versus the Golden State Warriors. On the Charlotte Hornets side, there's too many mouths to feed. In all honesty, they had been playing with a limited roster until that blowout that they suffered. Sorry. So on the Charlotte side, Devontae Graham is one of my most favorite players. He's coming off the bench, but he's been super productive. I love the matchup against this Golden State Warriors team that's basically led by D'Angelo Russell now. I mean, Draymond Green's still the leader, but D'Angelo Russell is the playmaker, balls in his hand. And he's just pretty much leading these young guys. He's very vocal and all that. So, yeah, he's not good at defense. And Devontae Graham coming off the bench is going to be either seeing D'Angelo Russell or Jordan Poole or a lot of these young rookie guys that they got here on Golden State right now. Their defense has been pretty atrocious for Golden State. So, Devontae Graham has been very consistent. He's another rookie that's 24 years old. Definitely see myself getting to a lot of Devontae Graham here. PJ Washington's another guy I don't mind getting to. 6,700 price is getting up there, but again, the matchup dictates it. He's gonna go out there and dominate, in my opinion. He's been very, very good to start the season, and I like what I've seen from him. This is the reason why his price is 6,700 already. He's been one of Charlotte's best players, and I don't mind going to him tomorrow. This matchup is just too good. Golden State still playing at a pretty fast pace, so there's a lot of opportunity for both of these teams to get going, a lot of offensive upside. So Devontae Graham, PJ Tucker are my two favorite plays on the Charlotte side. Dwayne Bacon will be the other guy I'm going to be considering. 4,300 is a really good price for him. But that's pretty much it. Cody Zeller, I don't mind at 6,400. Definitely could go out there and smash it, but I don't know how much Cody Zeller I get to. I'd rather just play PJ Washington for the upside. All these other guys, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, they could go off. They're decent plays, but I'd rather just get to PJ Washington, Devontae Graham, or Dwayne Bacon. On the Golden State Warriors, D'Angelo Russell is definitely in play. He had a really good game against the Spurs. They did lose, but D'Angelo Russell was making his shots. They were falling, and he had a really good game in general. Jordan Poole didn't make his first shot until somewhat midway through the second quarter, but towards the end of the game, he was one of the better Warrior players. He started today, and I expect that to continue. He's someone that already beat Klay Thompson in a shootout in practice and all that. He's a really good three-point shooter. It showed today. Again, in preseason, he was really good. So he's someone I'll be considering for sure tomorrow against Charlotte. The matchup is fantastic. Eric Paschal and Damian Lee, both of these guys I'm also going to be considering. They're also going to be seeing a lot of minutes now with all the injuries. Alex Burke had another great game off the bench, so I'll be looking towards him as well in some capacity. But my favorite plays would have to be Jordan Poole, D'Angelo Russell, Eric Paschal, and Damian Lee. Both Willie Cauley-Stein and Draymond Green might be seeing a little bit reduced minutes for the time being. Especially in this game, it is a back-to-back as well. Willie Cauley-Stein just came back from injury, and Steve Kerr already said he was going to be monitoring Draymond Green's minutes going forward. So Draymond Green might see a little bit reduced minutes as is. So I'm not really too fond of these guys, but they are in consideration because they have a lot of upside and they could go out there and smash. But my favorite plays, again, Jordan Poole, D'Angelo Russell, Eric Paschal, and Damian Lee from the Warriors. And then the last game, probably the best game of the night to watch, the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Portland Trail Blazers. So Philadelphia 76ers are without Joel Embiid. That opens up a lot of minutes and usage for some guys like Mike Scott. But my favorite plays on the 76ers would have to be Ben Simmons or Tobias Harris tomorrow. Portland isn't that great guarding guards, like not the greatest, and Ben Simmons is just an oversized guard to begin with. He should be good. What makes matters worse is Josh Richardson is questionable, but he is expected to play. It's just a toe issue. But if he's out, then I like Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris anymore. However, I think he plays, but I still like Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris anymore. If Josh Richardson plays, then he's the third guy I like on the 76ers. These guys are just going to be playing a lot of minutes, like over 33, 36 minutes. They're already averaging 33, 36, 35 minutes. So they're just going to be playing a lot of minutes. They have a decent amount of usage for the minutes they play, which is ridiculous. So I'm going to be getting to a lot of these Philadelphia 76ers guys, particularly Josh Richardson because of his $5,100 price. He's just priced too cheap for the amount of minutes and usage he has. This matchup is going to be pretty good. I mean, he is going to be tasked with defending Lillard and McCollum, so that might drain him and take away from his offensive upside. But he could very easily go out there and smash it at the same time, right? So he's someone I'm going to be considering. But Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris would be my favorable guys. And then Al Horford would be in consideration as well, of course. 7K is a little steep, but I don't mind. The minutes are there for sure, so I'll be getting to a little bit of Al Horford. Mike Scott and Matisse Thybulle, both of these guys I'll be considering. Their prices are good. Their minutes should be up with Joel Embiid out. And I'll be getting to these guys in quite a few lineups. James Ennis and Furkan Korkmaz are the other honorable mentions. Both of these guys could also have good games, but personally I won't be getting to them. If you're looking for a cheap punt in the late night slate, then definitely consider these two guys. They're priced very, very low. They also should see a little bit of a minutes increase in the usage bump when they're on the court. But personally, I'm not going to be getting to them on the main slate at least. On the Portland side, Damian Lillard would be my favorite play here. 9,100. I like Dame. He hasn't really had a crazy game so far, and I know Philadelphia is a good defensive team, but Damian Lillard is someone that thrives in this stuff, and it's tough to guard Damian Lillard. I mean, you can subdue him, but he could go out there and have a really good game, and I'm predicting him to have a really good game. I'm predicting McCollum to actually be owned higher than Damian Lillard tomorrow, but Damian Lillard is someone I just like tomorrow, and I'll be getting to him a lot. Rodney Hood, Bazemore, those are the other two guys I'll be considering. Hassan Whiteside is questionable, so keep an eye on the news for that. Of course, Zach Collins is still out, so that opens up the floor for Hezonja, Tolliver, Scalabassier. Tolliver has been starting, and he's been alright. He hasn't been too great, but he has a tremendous amount of upside, and if he's going to be playing 25, 30 minutes, then definitely he's in play. But again, my favorite play on the Portland Trailblazers would be Damian Lillard, followed by Rodney Hood, Ken Bazemore, and I'd be considering CJ McCollum. If Whiteside plays, then I really like Whiteside. Horford's going to make it tough for him, and Horford has made it tough for him in the past, but I feel like Whiteside could get there, and being the last game of the slate, I think his ownership might be a little bit low, and he could definitely go out there and smash it. So he's someone I'd be considering if he plays, and especially since he's questionable, I like that. His ownership is naturally going to be low. So that's my video for the today's slate, guys. Sorry I've been really tired. I just figured I'd make this because it's a Saturday. A lot of people wake up super early. They have a lot of spare time. So I made this for you guys. It's free content again. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't already, drop a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And hit that bell icon so you can get the notifications when I post my videos. And follow me on Twitter at Eyecee DFS. I post a lot of late night news, late scratches. And if you have any questions about lineup, constructions, favorite plays, if I didn't talk about a particular guy, if you disagree with me on anything, let me know. And if you have any input on how I could improve my content, let me know as well. I really appreciate any feedback, any sort of interaction. So yeah, thank you guys. Best of luck tonight, and take care. See you next time. Bye bye.